What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just, back in another video. There's your one-stop shop for anime and manga. Let's get into it. I want to start by saying thank you everyone for subscribing. If you're new here, like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so I post another video. Follow me on Twitter, links will be in the description. What's good, y'all? So today we are going to be doing a little bit of a different type of video. So I was asked, where do I get my manga from my manga collection, my manga hauls? So I decided to put it out there for y'all because I do get my manga from a couple of different places. It's not as exciting as you will probably think it is. It is very, very, very basic. But I'm going to go over basically where I get my manga. And maybe if you want to pick up manga from there, go right ahead. I'm not necessarily recommending any of these places. This is what I use. Use whatever site or store that you prefer. And let's get started. So me personally, I prefer to do my manga shopping online just because for me it's a lot faster. I don't really have the time to be going in store in person to any type of bookstore or manga store, really, because they're just so far from me. So yeah, I am from New York, so I do gotta take the train everywhere. I don't got a car, so I can't be driving every which way. Everything is just train or bus. So that's why I don't really go manga shopping too often in person. I do love it though. That is probably one of my favorite things to do, especially when it's a little bit colder outside. I love like basically just drudging through the cold and getting into a nice warm Barnes & Noble, and I get to just look through the shelves, see what's there. So that's the first one I want to talk about because that is where at this point I get about 99% of my manga. I get everything essentially from Barnes & Noble. I used to get everything from Rice of Anime, rest in peace. Unfortunately, Rice of Anime is no longer a store. It was bought up by Crunchyroll. So ever since then, I've switched over to Barnes & Noble. I am a Barnes & Noble member, so I get a little bit of a discount. And I haven't had any trouble, honestly. All of my manga have always came pretty good. The one downside for me is that a lot of times Barnes & Noble, what they'll do is if I order a pretty big haul, they'll separate the shipment. So they'll ship like 3 volumes in one box and like 7 volumes in another box, so just split it up and things like that. I don't really like that too much. It annoys me a little bit, but it does all get here. It's nice. It's packaged properly. Another downside for me is that sometimes and it hasn't happened recently though. This was definitely more towards the beginning, probably a year ago at this point when I started getting from Barnes & Noble, that they would put like the security tag on the actual manga pages. Like, I understand you got to put the security tags, I understand all that, but damn, you got to put it on the actual pages like that. Thankfully, none of my volumes have ever gotten messed up, but I have seen horror stories on Reddit where, some people, they try to take off those sticky security tags and it completely just destroyed the manga panels. Thankfully, I've never had that problem so far. If it was on the pages, I was able to take it off and it was taken off beautifully. Or sometimes it's on the covers, on inside the covers. But honestly, it's been probably 6 or 7 months at this point, and none of that's ever, like, none of the new volumes I'm picking up have that security tag, so I don't know if they stopped that, but that's the first place I get my manga. I get it online on Barnes & Noble, but I do go to Barnes & Noble in person a lot. That's really like the main place I go. When I do go manga shopping in person, I go to Barnes & Noble because it's just so much fun. Another spot I love going to, and this one, unfortunately, I can only go in person, so I don't go too often, and that's Kinokuniya. I absolutely love Kinokuniya. So if you don't know, Kinokuniya is a Japanese chain bookstore, and they have everything. I even have a few Shonen Jump magazines I picked up from Kinokuniya. They have Japanese volumes. They have obviously almost damn near any volume you could possibly think of. It's an amazing store. I love it so much. It is a little bit farther for me. It's about it's about a 45 minutes to an hour train ride, depending on how the trains want to work that day. But I absolutely do love going to the Kinokuniya. It's one of my favorites to go manga shopping, especially in person, because the atmosphere is insane. It is always crazy packed now, unfortunately. You can never just go in and it's empty. It's always just, pet shoulder to shoulder. Everyone is there trying to pick up some manga. And I do love the fact that all of their mangas are individually wrapped. I love that about it. It does suck a little bit because, I try to look through the manga every now and then. If I never heard of a series, I try to just look through it, see if I'm thinking I'm gonna like it, see if I might pick it up in the future. I don't, because y'all know me, I don't go into series blind anymore. I've been burned a few too many times. I'm definitely not going into it blind, so I'll open it up, look through it, and see if there's anything that either sparks my interest. I'll probably read like maybe the first couple pages or whatnot, and I think if I like it, I might read it online. But I absolutely do love Kinokuniya. It's actually one of my favorite places. If their online site worked a little bit better, I think I would definitely love going to Kinokuniya a lot more. I probably would order from them way more, because honestly, Kinokuniya, from what I've been seeing, they have amazing deals, especially if you're a Kinokuniya member. I think it's $20 for the year, or like $25 for the year, something like that. I don't know, because that membership I don't got, but they always have an amazing deals. It's really good. It's hard for me to get out there. If I was to be a Kinokuniya member, it would be essentially a waste of money, because I don't go out there enough to where I can really like take advantage of it. Another spot that I go to, and this is more of a newer spot, and that is Book Off. So Book Off is another Japanese chain, and they basically are just, they sell everything. It's just a used store at that point. They sell video games, they sell figures, they sell pops, they sell manga, they sell movies, they sell basically anything that you can find. They probably have it there. They sell the games, all that stuff. They sell so much different stuff. And I really do like Book Off, and they have super cheap manga, because a lot of the manga is used, but they do go based on the quality. So obviously the more beat up, the more yellow manga series probably is going to be lower price. It's probably going to be, it's a $13 volume. They probably sell it to you for like $5, maybe $4, depending if it's really beat up. But if it's more of like on the cleaner side, it may be, instead of $13, it's probably going to be like $10, maybe $11 if it's more of like a pristine condition. I really do enjoy Book Off. Book Off is an amazing store. I just don't go to it enough, because it's even farther for me than Kinokuniya. And on top of that, I don't really go for crazy out of print series, so there's really nothing there for me too much, because basically any manga series that I want to find, I'm going to find it either in like Barnes & Nobles or in Kinokuniya. Book Off is like my last place where I go, and obviously Book Off I can only go in person. I don't know if they have an online site, actually. I've never even checked that out. I probably should, but honestly it's really fun to just go into Book Off, because they have everything there. I mean, yeah, I just be looking around, even before I get to the manga, I just be looking around. It'd be insane, because they have so much stuff just everywhere. And I really do like seeing the different volumes I see, because every time I go into Book Off, there's probably like 10 to 15 series that I've never heard of a day in my life, never seen in no one's manga collection. I look at it, and it's there on the shelf. We got like 14 volumes, 5 volumes or whatever, and it looks amazing. And sometimes I be wanting to pick some stuff up, but because the way my collection's set up, I don't got the real space right now to pick up stuff like a little bit more on a whim. And of course, y'all know me, I'm not going into no series blind, especially from Book Off. So I have to just put stuff on the back burner. Y'all read it later online. But that's what I really like about Book Off. I think a lot of people would love it, especially because of the used manga. Because if you really don't care too much about the condition, hell, they have a lot of like the newer volumes too that it's used. People read it one time, they didn't like it, or some people, they don't know how to take care of their stuff and it looked terrible, but it works. Me personally, the only series that I really remember me getting was basically Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I picked up almost all of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds from Book Off, and that was because at the time I could not find it for the life of me. But I found it, and I picked up, I think it was 4 or 5 volumes. I think I picked them up straight off of Book Off, and they were decent quality. Some of them are a little bit yellow, but that's not bothersome me. So those are the 3 main spots that I go and I get my manga. I really don't go anywhere else. I haven't tried Books A Million, because I want to try Books A Million in person, but I don't think there's anyone around me. I've checked. I've been trying to find like a used bookstore / manga store around my neighborhood. I cannot find nothing. It's just, I found like a random bookstore, but it was literally just that. It was just a regular used bookstore. They had manga volumes, but the only manga volumes they had were all basically Junji Ito. And I'm not a huge fan of Junji Ito, so couldn't find nothing there. Unfortunately, I would love to just walk into like a random bookstore and like, oh my god, there's at least like one solid shelf of manga. I would love to find that. That would be like my holy grail to find at this point. So those are like the 3 main spots I go. Now, I know a lot of you are probably asking, do I use Crunchyroll? I personally do not use Crunchyroll. I had a bad experience with them when they first bought out Right Stuff. So after Crunchyroll first bought out Right Stuff, I waited about maybe 2 or 3 months, and I ordered some stuff from there. Everything came fast. Everything shipped amazingly well. My whole thing was like when I ordered online, my order on the actual site, like the order history was completely wrong. It had like the wrong volumes in like the listing, but everything was packaged right. So it didn't make no sense. It was like, I guess something happened in the system where it didn't have the right volumes, and then on top of that, it said like it shipped like 2 years earlier than what I did. I don't know what kind of glitch they had, but that I didn't feel comfortable because I've heard a lot of horror stories, especially not me, but my cousin. He actually tried to order a manga box set, and it just didn't, and it just never came. So I do know, and trying to get a refund from them is insane. So I personally don't use Crunchyroll, but it has been about maybe a year or two at this point since they've bought Right Stuff, and I've heard a lot of people that they do use it and it does work for them. And honestly, out of all these different places, Crunchyroll probably has like the best deals. Honestly, like if I might try Crunchyroll again, I don't know yet. I really do like Barnes & Noble because everything just ships super, super fast. I just ordered a couple manga volumes the other day and they shipped in 3 or 4 days. I got it, like damn near Amazon Prime. Speaking of Amazon, that's another spot. That's like my last resort. I do also get manga from Amazon. I completely forgot about that one. But I do get volumes here and there from Amazon. Really, I'll probably only get a volume from there if it's like a one-off that I just want something really quick. Like, I think what was the last thing I got from there? I think I got the Delicious in Dungeon box set. That was actually the last thing I got recently. I got that on Amazon. Just because when it comes to like pre-ordering manga, I prefer to do it on Amazon. For me, the deals are a little bit better. It's usually a little bit cheaper, and I like it more from there. But I really hardly ever pre-order manga. That's just one thing that I don't do personally, just because I don't like things shipping just separately. I like everything shipping together. So I pre-ordered the Delicious in Dungeon box set on Amazon. That way, when I ordered my regular manga haul through Barnes & Noble, I basically had everything more or less at the same time. That way, I was able to go ahead and do my manga haul videos. So that's all of the places that I really go and get my manga at. So that's everywhere that I really go to get my manga. It's obviously, like I said, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Me personally, if I was to ever leave New York, I don't think I am, unfortunately, for a while. If I was to ever leave New York, my one thing is I would love to just get a car and go to different like Barnes & Nobles or Books A Million or, Kinokuniya book off locations. Just go traveling around, seeing what I could find, because I would love to go in person. I prefer manga shopping in person. It's just so much fun to walk into a random bookstore and just see what you can find. Just go through the aisles and see all the different type of series that I've never even heard of, or just a series that I've been thinking about, and all of a sudden I see it there. I love that so much. For me, however, it's just better for me as convenient factors to get all of my manga online. So that's what I've been doing at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is basically everywhere that I get my manga. Now, like I said, these are the places that I get my manga. I do recommend them for myself. I mean, I recommend some places, like obviously you can't really go wrong with Barnes & Noble, Kinokuniya. You can't really go wrong with them. Book Off is another solid location. But obviously, wherever you want to get your manga, go right ahead. There is no real wrong place to get manga. I know some people, they use Crunchyroll. Some people use in-stock trades. Some people use, I think it's a Libris. There's all these other different locations that I've never tried, especially like these online sites that you can get them so much cheaper. Because I do get my manga at Barnes & Noble, I'm paying more of a premium price. I do have the Barnes & Noble subscription, but it's, these manga volumes are still a little expensive, especially now with the price hike. Thank you so much for making this far into the video, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell to post another video, follow me on Twitter, links will be in the description. This is your boy Just. I'm off this.